How's it going? XPPlayer here, and welcome back to another episode of actual Let's Play Toram Online Extras, where today we're gonna go ahead and do the latest chapter for the Hanami event. Now you may be wondering why today's voice sounds a tad different from my usual recordings or the usual editings, and that's because Audacity decided to screw me over and not save my audio, so therefore I'm basically using DaVinci Resolve Fairlight. Who would have thought DaVinci has its own way to record audio, huh? But yeah, the overall summary I would say for this belated event is that, well, it became too simple, let's just say. I mean, you could argue that it's few events before we still had the minigames here and there, and yet this time around, it's just directly straight to the boss. That's it. And then after you're done with that, you can go ahead and do the repeat quests. Done. Wow. Amazing, I know. I don't know about you, but it feels like I guess, Toram, or to an extent Asabim, was running out of creativity when it comes to like making more scenarios, because, well, it seems like it's literally just the continuous threat of, oh, a new opponent comes in, they're like these crystal things that are trying to eat up the sakura trees, and then we're here to stop them, blah de blah de blah. This happens every year. Wow, original, I know. But it's like, at least for some years we had like minigames. One was like a little hide and seek. That was like on the third year, I believe. I forgot. No, the third year was like a sort of like search thing. It's like choose your path sort of thing. And then we have a maze hide and seek sort of minigame, and then we also have like a tower defense minigame. Looks like Asabim is running out of ideas, it seems. But yeah. I mean, that's not even including the fact that, well, this event is late, because the actual season, this actual Sakura season, is actually on early April. So normally you expect this to be like on late March, or, you know, something like that, but, well, they were too occupied, I suppose, with the tier 5 skills, so decided perhaps to push back the latest event for this to be a bit later. Which is quite unfortunate, because we're kind of missed out a lot, you know, in terms of the timing. So it doesn't even really match at all. I mean, you gotta want the weather in general to cool down a bit more before it actually happening to be, you know, to have the Sakura season coming later. But I mean, yeah, quite interesting to see that Japan actually uses Sakuras to like note their new year or sort of thing. I suppose that's the symbolism that Japan adapts, I suppose, but yeah. As for this event, honestly, as I said, really the story itself, the event itself isn't really that awesome. And towards the end of this video, we'll also be having a quick look at the equipment as well, so we're gonna get to that point. But for now, I have like 10 minutes of rambling time, so yeah, hooray, love this stuff. But as you can see, crystals, again. It's as if they're a different version of Koenobia. Sheesh. I don't know about you, but it looks like I guess the scenery here looks a bit more like the Toram world, I guess. Even though it's exactly the same world as we've always been in. So, I suppose there's that, but it's like, perhaps they learned a few chapters, learned a few things that they got from doing chapter 11 and all that, but yeah, it seems like chapter 12 is going to be coming pretty soon, so I guess we could talk about that. So, I am still waiting for Iruna's new main quest for the English server. I know the JP server is still several chapters ahead of us, or, you know, several few main quests ahead of us, but it's like, well, when is the English side gonna catch up? I don't know. I wish it would catch up. But yeah, this one here is the initial difficulty, and you'll realize from the fight I'll be taking here, it's actually relatively easy, so I won't even comment too deep into it. The patterns are relatively easy to dodge, so I'm not even gonna comment on that either. So yeah. Anyways, back to the Iruna thing. So yeah, we're still stuck on a very peculiar spot, I guess. It's been so long since we've done the Iruna main quest too, so I'm just wondering when they're gonna update that, because obviously we kind of left off in a time skip, you know, with that ending there, you know, Keltoy's like, I swear I'm gonna avenge you dragons for the unfair treatment you've been receiving and all that. Well, I'm still waiting on that. I'm still waiting on development for that, and yet we're still not there. It's not. We haven't really moved an inch from there for like several months already. So I'm really hoping to get the catch up on that. But yeah, the reason why I bring up Iruna is that Chapter 2, or in the Iruna game, it's Episode 2, is where it really makes sense and really ties in very heavily to the upcoming chapters in here in Toram, because we'll be reviewing the Dragon Newt world, where the Dragon Newts, the Dragists are there, and that world where their grass is sort of a more bluish hue, some sort of aquish hue. It's more turquoise sort of hue of blue, something like, you know, Planet Namek. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, yeah, something like that hue of blue. So yeah, quite interesting, you know, because that means we'll be talking about like multi-world crisis here. It's not just gonna be about the world of Iruna and the world of Toram. It's gonna be all the other worlds that are relevant in the universe, you know, the Toram universe or the Iruna universe. So quite interesting, you know. I like to see how that's gonna go. So what to expect, I'm not too sure. Hopefully they still keep like similar leaderships from there, because after all, the Dragists and the Dragon Newts and all the inhabitants in that world have been screwed over by the gods, because, you know, the gods weren't as kind-willed as they are in the present day, you know, even in past Iruna, you know. So it's like, yeah, if you haven't watched the episode 6 of Iruna's main quest, yeah, you haven't seen the true sort of like brutality of the gods that you witness here in Toram. Yeah, those were 12 gods back in those days, but, well, they kind of improved somewhat, but their hands-off approach is seeing some consequences, that's for sure. So yeah, I believe this part of the story will start to see like the proper consequences of what the 12 gods did in their absence, you know, without them actually supporting the world and just letting it run on its own. I mean, yeah, offhand approach does make sense, because you are giving your people or your creations more choices to like progress on their own way. But at the same time, it's like, it's you know, if there's something that's beyond their power, what are you gonna do? Just hands-off approach again and just let the inhabitants try to solve that issue? It may not work, you know. So yeah, as you can see, that's our initial quest done. Sad. Whoopsie daisy. Ouch. But yeah, so now we're gonna go ahead and continue with the second part. This one's a repeat quest, so you can go ahead and just repeat this over and over until you deem satisfactory, I suppose. And that's pretty much it, honestly, because it's literally just the same quest again. Not even a minigame, just that. It's beat 'em up, that's it. Yeah, kind of weird. Really sad that there aren't much improvements to this than the previous attempts. So, well, I mean, eventually you run out of ideas, so you've been doing the same event for like 7 years. Dang, I would have some creative burnout if I had to think of 7 separate scenarios for the same event. So, I mean, yeah, there's that. Anyways, it's just the same thing. The only difference here really is just that the boss level's higher, and well, it's a bit a tough cookie, but the patterns haven't really changed. The only annoying thing I found about the boss is really just the multi-phasing, but you can recognize it by the color of the boss's skin, but it's, you know, it's more tedious than, you know, a setback instead, because technically you could still stun them, you could still deal ailments towards the bugger, but it's like, you know, at least you could see which colors the boss is in and act appropriately, I suppose. So there's that. But yeah, dang, what a huge pain. Anyways, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how the upcoming chapter is gonna deal with this in Toram, you know, because we are really gonna touch a lot of the Iruna lore, and I really need to brush up on it. Problem is, there's a lot of progress I need to do, and I'm not in the mood to grind all the way through on my GP account. I'm still literally just starting out on Sophia on my GP account. So really goes to show my lack of dedication to actually continue with the story there. Because I already been through it once, I basically put it all on YouTube, so yeah, there you go. It's most of the main quests, I'd say, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, boss here has 3 parts, 7.2 million health, and yeah, the drops aren't really too good to me. It's just an X-Towel and an armor piece. Yeah, it probably would be a dyed one. An armored die, I suppose, but I never really have much luck with that anyway. But yeah, I mean, even if you're fighting alone, you'd still have Virgil and Tenard to actually fight for you, so that's fine. You have a tank, you have a bowgun, so if you're like a magic user, hooray, free preparation. So there's that. As you can see, actually his pattern is actually pretty easy, so as long as you have like a tank or something like that, even an NPC tank or, you know, a party member tank, that's really enough. And for the purple state, it's actually when you can actually do more of the ailments. So yeah, I'm trying to wait for that. As you can see here, sometimes I just forget that I actually have magic cannon. It's just that easy to forget. I don't know why, but well, it's actually pretty powerful, actually, now that I think of it. So yeah, there's that. That aside, actually, another thing I'd like to talk about is about this month's upcoming main quest. As I said before, we're probably gonna dig in deeper into like the effects of the Dragonute world and see how that's gonna affect the overall timeline, because chances are we might find our remaining gods on the land of the Dragonute. Kind of makes sense too, because well, they do play an important role there, because they literally kept their sort of like robot beings, the Geantlords, I forgot their name, but something like that. Some starts with a G and very weird 4-syllable sort of thing, but it's like these sort of like dolls. In a sense, they're like android dolls sort of things that serve the gods. Yeah. They used to be just dolls, you know, robots for that follow the gods' every will. But then eventually they gained their conscience and eventually started to kind of like despise the gods and sort of thing, and therefore, you know, created the whole piece of the core of the issue of episode 2 in Iruna. So chances are we might see them doing a comeback here, but this time with in a more friendlier terms with the Dragonutes and the inhabitants there, and maybe they're fighting the Konabia together as they're invading that place. So yeah, we'll see. As to the main quest itself here in Toram, I might have to push that back, because my camera course finally is resuming after like 2 months of suspension, because restrictions are a huge pain in their balls. Yeah, finally it's coming back, and it just so happens to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Why? I do my recordings same day, okay? Most of my recordings are actually same day recordings. Like I literally record, edit, and upload on the same day. So yeah, it might prove quite a bit inconvenient to me. So I don't know. Next Thursday, the 28th, I'm thinking that I'll be prioritizing Civ All Stars first, because that side is more, I guess, urgent in terms of like the info. Plus the info that I'll be reviewing will be relatively short as well. So I think I will be prioritizing the Civ All Stars side. And then the following Tuesday, I'll be doing Toram's main quest. So with that in mind, I'll probably be recording that on like a Monday or something like that. So that's like some sort of like pre-recorded session sort of thing. So I mean, hopefully I can get that dealt with. But yeah, I do have several other field videos on the ready, and I have something to edit for this coming Sunday. So yeah, I'm also busy on that as well. So with those, honestly, it's like, well, we'll see. We'll see how the latest main quest is gonna fare. So yeah, I already mentioned the important things that might play a factor into the upcoming main quests, and it's up to you guys to see how true that is, or how much of that played an important role into our future main quest and all that. But yeah, actually, one thing I'd like to talk about while the battles are going on here is that I am using a bit of the pre-skills actually. So Nemesis, if you didn't know, the initial strike is a physical attack, then the remaining is basically magical. I actually like the extra physical that I'm getting from Nemesis, so I try to incorporate that in my fighting style as well. So yeah, I mean, proves pretty effective too, because after all, this bugger here is a dark element. So yeah, Akuryo Taisan is what the Japanese Mikos would say. So yay, lovely stuff, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's just the same bugger over and over again, so we're just gonna go ahead and just end this quest here and just call it a day. Lovely. Wow. Oh yeah, my levels here is literally 243. Yeah. Who thought I don't have enough spare levels to literally max me out whenever a new cap comes up? Oh well, I could always just come back and just be like, oh, chapter 11's done? Okay, I can go back and just start from chapter 9, do the main quest, and get enough spare experience to just literally keep my level cap up. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and this event as well. Ain't that lovely? Huge pain in the balls. Ouch. You know, I actually have plans to like maybe start diversifying, I guess, because I don't know. I mean, gaming is nice and all, but it's like I'd like to branch off something else because I do have other interests, and I feel like just uploading these gaming videos here is starting to get a bit, you know, too repetitive. So I'd like to spice things up as well. So I'd like to talk about some other stuff too. So if you don't mind the extra, like, I guess non-gaming content I'll be putting out on this channel, then be sure to check them out, show some support. I would definitely appreciate that. But yeah, with that said, 100 cups of sake. I know a certain voice actor who really loved their sake. Yeah, it's even the Pearl Sakura version too, so quite interesting. So yeah, on to this this year's new Hanami equipment, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at them. And as you're gonna see, they have a common theme. Yes, who would have thought a common theme other than just, you know, releasing on the same year as new weapons and all that. And if we have a look here, yeah, I have just enough. Come on, go down to the proper one. No, that's the last year. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see here, they're basically pretty easy to get with the amount of resources you get. But note the stats we have here. Okay, fire element, 10% damage to earth, crit rate 50, base crit rate 25%. So that's gonna be off your initial base crit rate. And then an assortment of, say, max MP, aggro minus, aggro plus. Basically one minor buff that's gonna be the only differentiating factor between all these weapons. So yeah, I don't know, I'd say this is actually pretty good for like a budget burst build, I'd say. I mean, obviously the main problem here is that, well, you're gonna need your cast speed from somewhere, but in terms of like focusing your damage or focusing on extra damage on one element, especially to like against earth bosses, earth mobs, yeah, I'd say these assortment of weapons actually would make a lot of sense. So yeah, hooray. If you want to be a fire burst mage, I think this stuff here is pretty good. But yeah, overall they're mainly alright. This dagger here is actually pretty good for like defense, so at least you won't get destroyed pretty easily if you're like using any dagger skills or not, or using any like dagger sub builds. So yeah, that's another thing to consider with this one. So yeah, pretty interesting. And then we have the arrow, the Pearl Sakura arrow. So this one's actually pretty alright, 10% base crit in there, with some extra MP, max MP, and yeah, really wish it had an element there, like fire element, but oh well. Yeah, these are some extra long range damage for bulls, so there's that. And then we have these rings, I guess, these accessories, I guess. As you can see, They're pretty alright. This one here is the adamantine? I can read. This one's pretty good for like neutral bosses, so Gravicept would be one of those major bosses to consider. And yeah, if you're like a neutral tank, I'd see this as a pretty decent win, honestly. So yeah, neutrals, neutral bosses, neutral stuff, even like that monstrous machina sort of thing. Yeah, that one, pretty good. And then we have this one here. The resources actually, I don't know where to find the top one, honestly, but chances are it's probably going to be from the guild maze. But assuming you can get all these materials here, this is actually a pretty decent thing to equip, because look at the stats here: magic attack, intelligence, and cast speed. And as a free-to-play or a person that focuses on NPC or boss gear, this is a heaven sent. This is a heaven sent, a god sent, because 20% cast speed, honestly, that's you don't find that on like extra equipment, honestly. And well, having another 20%, it's a nice addition. Obviously, you have to counter it with some extra like max MP. Make sure you have enough max MP for that. But other than that, it's actually pretty good. But yeah, we also have the Easter stuff, but it's pretty much over. It's really there for like accessories. Don't really need to matter too much about this. And we also have the mangaka collab. So these are good. These weapons are pretty good, but they're getting pretty outdated. So chances are we might see a new iteration for these. So perhaps tier 4 of these weapons. So that would be great. That probably would help us out, because with the tier 3s that we see here, they're probably behind. They're probably outdated at this point. So maybe we're gonna pull out a fourth version. That'd be lovely. That'd be lovely. Would love that. Yay, lovely. So with that said, that's gonna be it for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed today's little post commentary, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Toram Online content. I don't know where I am in this video, because I'm literally just following the video and trying to see how far I am going through with this. But yeah, as I said, I'm waiting for Rune Online main quest, and for the Toram video, the Toram main quest, I'm gonna do that on next Tuesday, so like on the 5th or something like that. So 2 more Tuesdays. So with that said, that's gonna be it for me today, and I'll see you guys next time. XP player out. Where's my wave? Where's my wave? Where's my wave? Come on, wave now. Wave now, me. I've done my outro. Bye bye. Bye bye. Are you gonna wave? Hello? Hello? Earth to Takashi Hattori. Wave. Bye bye. Hello? It's time to wave. Bye bye. Come on. Come on now. Wave. Bye bye. These sakura trees are honestly on a different scale. Just look at them.